What's up guys, it's Steven here from Everything Gaming, and on today's episode basically I'm starting a new series for Forza Horizon 3 and it's called 5 of the Best. Now in this series I'm going to be doing the top 5 cars in basically a different number of categories. So for example, top 5 off-roaders, top 5 hypercars, top 5 classic muscle cars, etc, etc. But in today's episode I want to go through the top 5 drift cars. Now this one was one of the hardest ones that I've done. It was incredibly tricky. You know, there's a lot of excellent drift cars in Horizon 3 and it was really hard to pick a top 5. Now these are basically all in my opinion, so which ones I favour. Obviously I'm sure that people have favourites that aren't mentioned in this list, but don't get me wrong, this list is basically my top 5 in drift cars in Forza Horizon 3, but like I said, it was incredibly hard to narrow it down to 5. But to start us off in the 5 of the best drift cars on Horizon 3, in no particular order, I want to start off with, at number 5, the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. Now, you've got to have a muscle car in a drift category. It's impossible not to. You know, they're brilliant rear-wheel drive cars, tons and tons of power into them. And for me, it was the Dodge Hellcat. Now, purely because it is packed with power, but it was a lot of fun as well. You know, it makes a great noise, but it's just so much fun. Like, there is so much power to this thing, and initiating drifts in it is not hard at all. You know, it's one of the easiest cars to drift with. In fact, all of the 5 that I'm mentioning today are easy enough to initiate drifts with without having to use a handbrake. But the SRT Hellcat was one hell of a car. You know, it's incredibly beastly, and its drifts are just so brilliant. You know, it's so easy to power over them. Coming in at number 4, we have the Nissan Silvia PS13. Now with this, you'll see that I've put a Rocket Bunny kit on it, and apart from that I've pretty much left it standard. Now this car is absolutely phenomenal. You know, it's just a generic drifter's choice of car. I have a friend that has one, and they're absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, same with Dodge. You know, this car's brilliant because you don't actually have to use the handbrake to initiate a drift. It's just automatic. You go into a bend, you power over it, and you're already there. You know, you're already into a mega drift. And it's an absolutely fantastic car. And to be honest, in this list I wanted to try and avoid JDM cars, but it's really hard because at the end of the day the JDM cars are the better cars for drifting. You know, like I said, with this Nissan Silvia PS13, it is one of the better drift cars and it's absolutely fantastic. You know, this is a really good one for beginners. It's not hard to use at all. You haven't got to tune it that much. Just stick on the Rocket Bunny kit and you're pretty much good to go, because obviously it automatically does engine mods and stuff and increases performance. So yeah, number 4, that was the Nissan Silvia PS13, which was a fantastic drift car. Coming in at number 3, we have basically another Silvia. This time it's the S15 with a Rocket Bunny kit on it as well. I'm sure a lot of you probably picked this car at the beginning of the game, and I'm sure you'll all know that this is an absolutely fantastic car again. You know, you may have seen Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Hans S15, that's the bad boy, that's the one. It's incredibly easy to use yet again, especially with the Rocket Bunny kit. Straight into the corners, don't even need to bubble with handbrake, you just power over it and you're straight into a drift. It's an absolutely phenomenal car. And it's, yet again, it's easy for beginners. You know, if you're not absolutely fantastic at drifting, just go straight to the S15. It's the one to go to. Basically, it's the easiest one to use. I'd recommend it. I think pretty much everyone else would recommend it as well. It's a fantastic car and really easy to drift with. Coming in at number 2, this is a bit of a different one. This is actually the BMW M4 with the JB Works body kit on it. Now BMWs, all rear wheel drive, brilliant cars. Normally it's M3s and stuff like that, 3 Series. You see a lot of people starting off drifting in real life in them. And on this, I think for me, instead of the M3, it's got to be the M4, purely because it's got a bit more power behind it. I think it looks a lot better, and yet again, it's piss easy to drift with. You know, you don't even have to worry about using a handbrake. It's just straight into a bend and it's off. And the best thing is, because it's not got too much power when you put the JB Auto Works kit on it, that, you know, it doesn't sort of spin out of control. It's into a drift and you can hold it really easily. It's a brilliant car to use for drifting. I absolutely love it, and yet again, it's another brilliant one if you're a beginner, if you're just sort of finding your feet when you're learning how to drift on Horizon 3. M4 JB Works kit on it, easy as piss. You know, it's one of the best cars on here to drift with, basically. But coming in at number 1, and what I think is personally the best car to use for Forza Horizon 3 to drift with, has to be the Subaru BRZ with a Rocket Bunny kit on it. Now I did add a couple of more engine performance mods, and it's not too over the top, but it's got a hell of a lot of power for a Subaru BRZ, and it's piss easy to drift with. Yet again, like with all the others, no handbrake needed. Just turn into a corner, power over it, and you'll be initiating drift before you know it. You know, you can rack up a massive multiplier score with it. It's just so damn easy to use. Especially with the Rocket Bunny kit, it looks badass. I don't know if any of you's probably played the new Need for Speed that came out a few months back. Yet again on that, piss easy to drift with. It's a brilliant car, rear wheel drive, it's already set up basically. Stick the Rocket Bunny kit, I think it's about 80,000 credits you have to spend on it. But in my opinion, it is the easiest and the best car to drift with. Obviously there's some more obscure ones, but the Subaru BRZ is the better one. But really quickly, seeing as this is the first episode, I want to do a bonus car, and this one is incredibly obscure. You know, not many people would have probably tried it, but I tried it and won the bucket list challenge, and it turned out to be an incredible, ute. And it is in fact the HSV Maloo Ute. Now stock, this has 500 brake horsepower in a pickup truck, right? Rear wheel drive, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Now I modified this one up to about 700 brake, which might have been a bit silly because it's mad. You know, it's just insanely out of control. But yet again, it's piss easy to drift with. You know, it's probably the harder one out of the list that I've done to use to drift. But if you know what you're doing and you're able to control the drift by adjusting the power, then trust me, this is a hell of a lot of fun, and it shocks a lot of people. You know, they see drifting around the bend in a ute, but I've got to admit, it is absolutely fantastic. You know, it's just so funny and it's just brilliant. The sheer power coming out of a damn pickup truck is amazing. But yeah, that was basically my top 5, well, including the bonus top 6 drift cars to use on Forza Horizon 3. Like I said, the first 5 I mentioned were the easiest ones to use in the game. Now I'll be honest, there's a massive list of cars you can use to drift on Horizon 3. You know, the 350Z, MX-5, RX-7, Supras, Skylines, loads of classic muscle cars, even things like Ferraris and some hypercars and stuff that are fun as fuck to play with basically and to drift with. But, you know, even though there's a huge list, it was incredibly tough to narrow it down, and I wanted to fit a couple of obscure ones in there, which I think I have done, and try and avoid the JDM, but it's quite hard because, like I said, JDM cars are the best ones to use for drifting. But yeah, that was my top 5 list for drift cars. My next video, I'm going to do the top 5 off-roaders on Forza Horizon 3. Now that one was definitely fun to make. I'll release that in about a week. I've just got to do the voiceover and whatnot for it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Definitely subscribe for more videos, Forza Horizon 3 related content as well. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching, guys.